Okay, today is August 30th, 2017, which is a Wednesday. We're at Ralph's shop. This will be the only shot I get of Ralph. Ralph, say hello.
Hello.
All right, that's as much as you'll see of Ralph today. We're with Guy Dirkin, and we're looking at what I call as a little guy. You want to say hello?
Hey.
All right, there we go. Good enough.
Say hello.
And we're looking at his car, what's left of his car, or what we're starting with his car, or what Ralph has been working on the car. This has been a project that I think you started about 10 years ago, 10 years ago when you founded it. This is what I call the Lost Motor Trend Victress S1A Roadster. It was done by Fred Bodley, and Fred Bodley finished it and passed away. Now, Fred was the technical editor of Road and Track from like 1950. Motor Trend?
Yes.
Motor Trend, that's right. From about 1953 till his passing. And we'll have more information about that. And you can look up the Lost Motor Trend Victress. And this hopefully will be done here within the year, maybe by the end of this year. So we've stripped it down to the chassis. What are you looking for? Is this the original engine?
No, it's not. But before we get into that, let me add a little bit more about Fred Bodley. So, Fred, being a technical editor of Motor Trend magazine and Peterson Publishing Company in the early 1950s, a lot of those guys had other jobs. So, the basis of his business was working as a Rolls-Royce mechanic. So, when he put this car together, and when I took the body off the car about 6 or 7 years ago, I was quite impressed with at least the basics of engineering. If you take a look at the chassis at the back, he's cross-braced, the roll hoop is fully welded in the frame.
Boxed in the frame.
Boxed in the frame. The roll hoop over the firewall, and now with an addition of a sheet metal firewall, that's kind of locked in the front. So in terms of somebody that knew more or less how to build in that, given it was the early 1950s, a rigid structure to build a sports car around, Fred did a really good job with that. So fast forwarding to today, we recently restored the body. The body mounts, you can see just a couple of them here, obviously go on the front, and there's similar mounts at the back. Fred actually had the floor of his version of the Victress actually fiberglass to the chassis. We've done, we want to be able to take the body off the chassis, so we've built a custom floor out of fiberglass. The chassis today, and we were just in a discussion about moving this from the status it is right now into the car that will run on the show circuit. The essence of what we've been talking about is not messing with the original car. We pretty much want to leave it the way that he put the car together in late 1954. He did install a flathead motor. It was later taken out by the third owner, who had an Oldsmobile rocket motor, which I still have available, but I wanted to go back to the original configuration. I know these are slow, but driving these cars fast on the open highway is probably not that sophisticated given the era of the car. I'm okay with the way that we've configured this. So Ralph is going to take on the challenge of cleaning the chassis, redoing the brake hydraulics, making sure everything ties together, fuel lines and everything, and making this thing run. We'll put the body back on the chassis, and then we'll go to the interior, which Jeff, one of the things we acquired recently were these black and white photographs from the Peterson archives of the car back in the showroom at Peterson in 1955, just after Fred's death. Those photographs give us incredible detail of the interior of the car, which were either done personally by George Barris or at George Barris's shop. There's a lot of little pieces of history around this car, in addition to Fred's job. When the second owner, Chuck, who also worked at Motor Trend.
Who was the second owner?
Chuck
Glover?
Sorry.
Chuck Glover. It's important to use his name because Chuck is still with us. He's 93 years old this year, and he's looking forward to seeing his car finished.
Yeah, I should have remembered Chuck's name. See, I'm getting older. Yeah. But Chuck supplied us with a little handwritten note from Wally Parks congratulating him on the purchase of this car. You know, around the late part of 1955, Wally Parks was the founder of the NHRA. So we've got George Barris, Wally Parks, several other people.
And George did the original interior, is that?
And George's shop did the original interior on this car. So really great example of an early 1950s special, built fairly well, given that, you know, what they were trying to do at that time. And I look forward to finally seeing this finished in the next year or so.
A couple more questions. We're dealing, this engine was running when we started, but that was years ago. Right now, I think Ralph said this morning, it's one of the cylinders is seized.
Somewhere along the line, and this is just one of the problems you get with long-term restorations, water got into one cylinder and it's currently not turning. So we may either have to find another motor, take this motor apart, or if we look out, we can still use it, but we'll check compression on the cylinder that seems to be the problem.
Gotcha. And I see the chassis appears to have been painted red back in the day.
Correct.
And that's what we thought we wanted to start with, but we changed our minds. You changed your mind based on talking to Ralph. Why is that?
There's always the last minute thought of, oh, I should have welded a bracket here, or we need to go and move something. I've done several other cars in the past. Satin black or black is a much more forgiving colour to use. So we are going to go with that. We'll probably also paint the motor black. The car, as you know, will be white. So the contrast, I think, will look really good when it's finished.
And I see that here's the original gas tank over here. New one's over here. And there's the original one over here. Doesn't look in too bad a shape for 60 years old.
Yeah, in remarkably good shape.
And you can see where Fred originally would have carved off and welded off the original spout for the gas and put on a new one, and then something like that's going to have to be done here.
Yeah.
Yeah, on this one. Let's walk out and take a look at the car body just for a moment.
Okay.
So we can either go, well, let's go past this glass bar. We'll go past the glass bar body, and we'll do a video on that here next, or glass bar chassis. Ralph likes to be in videos, so he'll be in the next one. All right, so we're looking here. It's a little bit in the shade and sun. This is the Victress S1. We've done some videos of this before, but this is about, Dave had done this, had done all the work on the body earlier this year. Just a couple months ago, I think, and it's been here for a while. It's about ready to go, isn't it? I mean, you don't have the cockpit. Does Dave have the cockpit? Fiberglass panels. I don't know. That's probably a question.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Hey, Ralph, is the cockpit around for this car, the fiberglass panels?
The interior panels.
Okay, we don't need them. I just want to make sure where we know where we have them. All right, so the cockpit here is, the hood is here, trunk is already on, and the bodywork, this was where Dave created originally the place we had the windshield posts to match up to.
One of the issues with Victress is that many of the windshield stanchions were fairly vertical. Fred Bodley had a real nice laid-back piece, which we still have and have just had refurbished and re-chromed. So the idea is that this doesn't make sense probably right now, but it will when the windshield supports are in place.
Gotcha.
There is, Jeff, one comment I haven't seen in your videos yet. So if we stand back and look at the rear of the Victress, this applies to all Victresses. One of the original impressions of these cars is I thought that the rear was a little too long cosmetically. In researching the car was clearly influenced by a BMW Mille Miglia Bugle Falte, which the one I'm thinking of recently sold for $5.4 million. But the rear of this car being long was actually an aerodynamic factor from Dr. Cam, the famous auto aerodynamicist. So now I know that piece of information. I'm perfectly okay with this elongated shape of the rear of the Victress.
Right.
I think they're a lovely body. And the finished product, I'm really getting excited about seeing in the next 6 months.
Cool. Well, Guy, I appreciate your time. And we got a cool project on. And Ralph, good luck with the Victress. How close are we to getting the, what is the next step? Engine, transmission, getting right? It's going to be here for several more weeks, probably a couple months.
I'm going to get the chassis sandblasted, motor running, brakes built.
Yeah, probably end of summer, early fall. So it'd be good to get this heat out of here. And there's a couple other things hiding out there. You never know what Ralph keeps in the shop. Usually some of our stuff. All right, say goodbye. All right, see you guys. Take care.